Hi, good morning, and welcome to our meditation today. We are meditating on grace, and today is the 16th of November, and we are meditating on the first chapter of the epistle of Paul to the Ephesian church. And we're going to read today verse 18 of chapter 1. I pray that the eyes of your heart may be enlightened in order that you may know. And there will be three things that he wants us to know. But I would like to talk about the enlightenment of our eyes by the Holy Spirit. And it is vital. It's vital for us to understand what God is going to reveal to us in this text. And he's actually talking about the eyes of your heart, the eyes of our heart. And I would like to read a few verses in the New Testament, three more verses that to try to help us to understand what Paul is talking about. And the first one is in Romans chapter 1, verse 21. For although they knew God, they neither glorified him as God, nor gave thanks to him, but their thinking became futile, and their foolish hearts were darkened. So to know here is not the same thing as to know in the texts that we've been reading in Ephesians chapter 1, Philippians chapter 1, or even Colossians chapter 1. We know that it is not because the sort of knowledge that the heart of God, of these people who he's talking about here, the heart of God, it didn't help them to have a relationship with God. Why? Because the eyes of their hearts, they were darkened. They couldn't see God. And then their thinking, the way they thought, was completely no. It didn't produce anything. It was completely foolishness. There was no knowledge in the way the Bible sees knowledge. They heard about God. They even had someone maybe in their families that knew about God. They knew God, but their encounter with the divine here didn't produce anything because the eyes of their heart were darkened. They couldn't see God. You see that a lot in the Old Testament when you realize that people, the so-called the people of God, they actually served God as they were serving other gods as well. There was no difference between the eternal God and the local gods, the gods that were worshipped by the people of the land. So their eyes were not opened to see God really. The inner eye, the eye of the heart, of the spirit, of the soul, couldn't see God. They knew about him, but they didn't see him. So their thinking was completely futile, as Paul says here. It didn't produce anything. And then in 1 Corinthians, in chapter 2, verse 9, it's written, however, as it is written, what no eye has seen, what no ear has heard, and what no human mind has conceived, the things God has prepared for those who love him. So the things that God have prepared for us, the things that we have already received actually here, we can only see them if our eye or the eyes of our heart are enlightened by God. If God reveals himself to our inner eye, to our heart, without revelation, we cannot see God. In order to know him, we need a revelation from himself. Otherwise, we cannot see. That's why Paul is praying for the Christians here. And when you pray for a person who knows already God, and that's what Paul is doing here for those people in Ephesus, it's because sometimes we haven't fully understood the greatness of all the things that God has given us. So Paul is praying for them, so their heart will be open to the truth of the gospel. Because we can be maybe living a Christian life that it's very poor. It's not the life that God has given us. When we are searching for material blessings, when God has already given us spiritual blessings that come straight from eternity, and you are just looking for things from down here, when God has prepared for us a treasure from eternity that is going to fill our lives with eternal values, eternal things. That's why Paul is praying for these Christians in Ephesus. And we should be praying for ourselves and for others as well. So our heart will be completely open, filled with God's light to see God and his plan for us. 1 Corinthians 4 verse 5, therefore judge nothing before the appointed time. Wait until the Lord comes. He will bring to light what is hidden in darkness and will expose the motives of the heart. At that time, each will receive their praise from God. There's going to be a huge day, an amazing time in our history when Jesus is going to bring to light everything that is in darkness. But our prayer should be that even today we will let the Holy Spirit bring to light what is in darkness still in our lives. So we'll be able to see God, to see his Christ, and the great things that God has prepared for us today. God bless you.